The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com. Welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
All right, this is our final segment of the evening, and we're going to do our week picks. All the crazy games last week. You'll never believe the picks last week, Ryan. Apparently, you only picked 2 games correctly last week.
Really?
Yeah.
How many did you pick?
I got 8, so I didn't get that much. Usually somebody gets the double digits. Nobody got the double digits.
What did I pick right?
Well, what did you pick? That's a good question. I
know I got Baltimore beating Cleveland.
Yeah, you got the Thursday night game right. We both had Baltimore down. You got that one right, and then it was one way down here. I think Arizona. You picked Arizona over San Francisco. So that was it. So that was very interesting. I think I won 2 weeks in a row. I won week 9, 11-7. But then, all right.
At least because of the buys, it's not as bad as that week when you picked 2 wrong or 2 right in week 2. When there were 16 games, there was only 14 this week.
I did. Yes, that was the worst I've ever done on this. It certainly was embarrassing. Okay, we got Saints and Panthers, which are playing right now. Who do you think is going to win this game?
I'm going with the Saints.
I'm going with the Saints, too, on the road. So let's do that. Of course, this pen doesn't work. But, of course, the Saints have done, they do okay. They have
a good offense and a horrible defense.
Yeah, they had a couple tough losses like that one to Denver last week. That was
one of the worst losses you could ever get handed to you. You're kicking the extra point to get the lead, and it gets blocked and run back for 2, so you lose by 2 points.
Yeah,
and the guy stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, it was very embarrassing, and it certainly did look like he stepped out of bounds, right? Okay, so we're both going to go with New Orleans. Okay, time for the Sunday games. We got Pittsburgh at Cleveland. 0-10 Cleveland.
Oh, my goodness. How can you even pick the Browns?
You can't.
No.
It's
Steelers.
It's impossible.
They're probably going 0-16. Their most winnable game were the Ravens and the Jets, and they lost those.
Right. I have to go with the Steelers, too. I mean, there's not much to say about this one. It's a pretty easy pick, for sure. I feel so bad for the Browns, but yeah, they might go 0-16 like the 2008 Detroit Lions. We didn't think a team would ever do that again necessarily, but here we are. Baltimore at Dallas.
Dallas. They're just on a roll. I mean, that comeback against Pittsburgh was unreal.
Yeah, the Steelers really should have won that game after they had that crazy thing where everyone thought that
the fake
Roethlisberger
spike
was spiking the ball, and then he throws it to...
I mean, when I saw that, I was like, that is a great play, and the Bears have never had a coach or an offensive coordinator or a quarterback that would be smart enough to draw up that kind of play.
They wouldn't even be thinking of it. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to go with Dallas at home in this situation. I guess Dak Prescott will be just the quarterback for forever for them, it seems. I think Tony Romo kind of gave up the helm.
I cannot stand these Tony Romo to the Bears rumors. The Bears don't want an old, washed-up quarterback.
That's something they would do, though.
The thing is, I don't think Ryan Pace will be that stupid.
God, I hope
to
not.
do. Jerry Angelo would.
Oh, Jerry Angelo would take him in a heartbeat.
I mean, you're not really gaining much by switching from Cutler to Romo. You're not really gaining anything. You're not getting better.
No, not at all. We have Jacksonville at Detroit. Detroit is 5-4. Jacksonville has 2 wins, I think.
Yeah, it's Detroit at Jacksonville or Jacksonville at Detroit?
Jacksonville at Detroit.
Oh, Detroit. Jacksonville has won 1 road game since 2010, and it was against the Bears.
I'm going with Detroit, too. Matthew Stafford's had a good year. I got to give him a little bit of credit, even though I've never liked him. I got to give him a little bit of credit. They're doing this without Calvin Johnson, too, so that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, I'm going with Detroit. I think they improved to 6-4, and they could be leading the division all by themselves by the end of this week. Tennessee, who had a very nice win over Green Bay, against the Colts, who have started to figure it out a little bit.
I'm going with the Colts. I mean, Tennessee has been playing well. It's just I think the Colts are hopefully starting to figure it out because they're really the definition of football is a team game.
Yeah, the Colts always seem to beat the Tennessee Titans, no matter where the Titans are in the standings, which they're doing okay this year. Yeah, it's a home game for the Colts. Andrew Luck usually plays really well towards the end of the season as well. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty easy pick. We don't have any... all our picks have been the same so far, so hopefully we'll get a different one coming soon. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals really lost a tough one, but they haven't been playing very well.
The Bengals have been playing terrible.
They have been.
And the Bills have been playing well. I'm going to go with the Bills.
Bills on the road against Cincinnati. I got to go with the Bills, too. I'd like to go different, but I just feel like the Bills are going to win. The Bengals are just... I don't know what their problem is.
I mean, that offense just looks so lifeless. They needed 1 point in like midway through the third quarter or something, and they couldn't even drive down and get in field goal range.
No, they couldn't, and I think Andy Dalton threw a bad interception too in between all that against the Giants. So yeah, we're both going to go with Buffalo. Tampa Bay, who is still hanging around, I guess, because of the Bears, and Kansas City, who has been really, really good this year.
Kansas City had an incredible comeback. Andy Reid's teams, he began with Kansas City, they've been great at the end of the season. Sometimes they've gotten off to rough starts, and then they finish strong.
Yeah, I'm telling you that they've been one of the most consistent teams in the NFL the last 5 years, ever since Andy Reid has gotten there.
I mean, yeah, them and New England and Seattle have all been consistently good.
Right. I'm going with Kansas City as well. That defense is top-notch. Okay, we got the big game. Chicago Bears at the New York Giants.
Wow.
I got to go with the Giants.
Giants. I mean,
we have to.
Wow.
There's not much to say about it, right? It's just it's embarrassing. Jay Cutler's never played well in New York either, as far as I can remember. He's lost, I think, 2 games with the Bears at the Giants. We got Arizona at Minnesota. This is a pretty evenly matched up.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Cardinals on the road. I'm going to go Minnesota, and I know you might think I'm crazy for going with Minnesota because they've been playing so well, so horribly the last 4 weeks. But I just think I feel like this is one of those games where Carson Palmer will probably throw an interception late because that Vikings defense, while they're in shambles, they still have the ability. I think there's going to be a late interception and set up a game-winning field goal or something for the Vikings. I think the Vikings win and hang around in the mix of the NFC North still. We got Miami at L.A.
I'm going with Miami. They're on a hot streak. Adam Gase has really turned that offense around. He's even fixed Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, who would have thought that anyone could fix Ryan Tannehill? He's played pretty well. They got a really good running back, Jay Ajayi. I think that's his name. I don't really know. He's on my fantasy.
He's been all right since those 200-yard games. He hasn't done anything since then.
He's scored a lot of touchdowns. That's been his main claim. And Jarvis Landry's been pretty good this year, surprisingly. So there's been a lot of positive things going after those first few weeks in Miami. I agree. I think they beat L.A. Probably a close game. Miami usually is winning these closer games. We got New England at San Francisco. That's a laugher.
New England. Man.
There's some bad matchups this week.
That's almost as big of a laugher as you can get, other than it's Seattle or New England against the Browns.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad matchups this week. Let's just put it that way. A lot of clear-cut favorites. Philadelphia at Seattle.
Seattle, they're playing well. Russell Wilson is shown that ankle injury is no longer hobbling him.
Yeah, I'm going with Seattle too. I have Doug Baldwin on my team. I have Russell Wilson as well, although I think I'm going to start Kirk Cousins this week. That'll be the next game coming up here. But, yeah, I think Seattle should be able to beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia sort of came back down to earth a little bit. We found out, while Carson Wentz might be a pretty good quarterback, he doesn't have very many weapons necessarily.
No, you're learning Jordan Matthews is best used as a slot receiver, as the number 2 or number 3, and that's why they were trying to get at someone like Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith at the trade deadline.
Right. Okay, the Sunday night game, the Packers at the Redskins.
I think Green Bay's going to rebound and beat the Redskins. That was a really bad loss last week.
It certainly was, and the offense was there, but the defense couldn't stop the Tennessee Titans. When your defense can't stop the Tennessee Titans, there's a little bit of an issue. That being said, I'm going to go with Washington. I think, Kirk Cousins has done pretty well this year, actually. And he has, some pretty good weapons, as does Aaron Rodgers, obviously. But I just think on the road, I think the Packers, while I think they will figure it out and probably they still could end up winning the NFC North pretty easily. But I just think Washington is a better football team right now, and I'm going to take the Redskins in a close game over the Packers. Hopefully Kirk Cousins can throw a late game-winning touchdown. That would be nice. Hopefully to Jordan Reed. Okay, on the Monday night game, we got the Houston Texans at the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders have been pretty much the surprise of the NFL.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I kind of figured they would take a step forward because last year they showed the flashes of being a good team. They were just a year too young, and Brock Osweiler is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL.
That is clear. that is clear.
I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is having a horrible year. He's having a lot of 4 catches, 44 yards, 5 catches, 36-yard games. I'm going with Oakland. Derek Carr's been playing well. Amari Cooper has been heating up.
And by the way, this game is in Mexico City. In case you didn't know.
Who's the home team?
Oakland's the home team.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm still going with the Raiders.
I'm going with the Raiders as well. I think people in Mexico like the Raiders. They used to be in L.A., and then they moved to Oakland, obviously. So I think they still kind of had their fan base. So I think that'll be a pretty big home game for the Oakland Raiders. Can't imagine there's too many Houston Texans fans.
They don't have many fans in general, though.
No, I wouldn't think so. And if they were, they'd be fans of a team from California, probably. So yeah, we're both going to go with Oakland. So we're only different on 2 games: Arizona and Minnesota, and Green Bay and Washington. So we'll see how that plays out. This is going to be a close week, nonetheless, for our picks. And those are our picks, and that pretty much wraps up the show. Yeah, let me cue up our good music here.
They will be off next week because of Thanksgiving.
Yep, it'll be Thanksgiving next week. We'll be back the following week. We'll hopefully be talking about some interesting White Sox moves, at least on the cusp of it. Hopefully we'll be continuing talking about winning Blackhawks and Bulls. And hopefully the Bears can... I don't really care what the Bears do, to be honest, but yeah, that's sort of where we're at with that. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Have a good night. The Sports Renegades Podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.